Well, happy Mother's Day. Mother's Day weekend traditionally is the busiest day in a garden center. Not only for things we're buying for mom, but just because we always know that frost-free date is pretty much around Mother's Day. It's around May 8th, May 10th, a little later this year because Mother's Day is as late as it can be. All right, so I thought I'd go through some plants and maybe the evolution of certain plants. So I'm gonna go pretty fast, all right? So the good old wax begonia, right? Wax begonia, we used to call it the aluminum siding of bedding plants. So then they come up with what's called a dragon wing. And this is the dragon wing begonia right here. Really works well, doesn't take a lot of water. But now, if you look in garden centers, try some of the others. This is a funky begonia. But now the dragon wing is kind of getting to be old school. And there's a big begonia, there's top hat begonias, these funky begonias. So check out some different ones, but all from the start of the little wax begonia. Even geraniums. Geraniums, we still sell a ton. This is called a zonal geranium. It's just that beautiful, it starts from a cutting, and looks beautiful, but sometimes it can get, they're still great, but look at this. So this one right here is called a calliope. So generally when people pick, they like this one because of the bloom, but a calliope geranium is not exactly a vining geranium, it's a mounding geranium. This is a calliope mature. Look how that gets where it just kind of mounds. So probably better for a basket or even a pot on the porch. Calliope over zonal, but I'm not, this is my baby. I've been with this all my life, so I don't want to, the zonal. All right, impatiens. This is the, we still sell a ton of impatiens, great for big areas in shade. So everybody always wants, well, is there an impatient for the sun? So in the I don't know, it must have been the 1970s, they came up with this New Guinea and they said, this works in the sun. Well, guess what? We all found out it didn't. It didn't work in the sun. It didn't do any better in the sun than the regular impatiens. And then a few years ago, I was skeptical, but they came out with sun patience. That same New Guinea look, but for the sun. And guess what? They really do work. We actually threw some out on Keystone and tortured them, and they responded really well. So sun patience is a huge deal, but don't get it confused with the old school ones. Petunias, good old petunias in a flat, they just kind of go up, lay over. Well, that's been years. And then of course the first one out was the wave petunia. The wave is a true trailing petunia, but what we found out about the wave, it's better on the ground because in containers, it gets real, it doesn't bloom along the stem. So even the people at Wave realize that, and so they have what's called Easy Wave, which is better for pots because just like the Super Petunia here from Proven Winners, it blooms along the stem, so you get a nice, the baskets will, the petunia kind of stands up a little better. So if you're getting Wave, don't get the original unless you're putting them on the ground. And same thing with coleus. Vegetative coleus have come so far. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I hope you have a great Mother's Day. And don't forget to fertilize those hanging baskets you bought for mom.